Yo, Prime members, so check this out. We are here to talk about our favorite thing in the world, and that is Amazon Prime.
That's right. We all have different interests, but there's one thing that brings us together: Prime.
As members ourselves, we found ways to maximize our Prime benefits to get the most out of our passions.
From fast and free shipping, streaming of movies and music, and even exclusive deals and discounts, Prime has it all.
And what's great is that you can use all of these services to elevate your hobbies and interests.
Whether you're a bookworm, a fitness fanatic, or a gaming guru, Prime has something for everyone. I promise you that.
So go ahead, explore and indulge in all that Prime has to offer. We promise you won't be disappointed.
Time to get more out of whatever you're into. Prime. And that's that on that.
What's up, family? It's Dr. Shonda. Listen, so many of you have been saying such great things about the podcast, and I'm appreciative of all the information and things that you guys share. So it is my pleasure to share dope conversations with you every single week, but I need your help. I need you to go into wherever you're listening to this podcast and rate the podcast 5 out of 5 stars. That's right. If you're not a hater, then go ahead into Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you're listening to this podcast, and go ahead and leave your girl a 5 out of 5 stars. Thanks so much. Hey, it's the Black Girl Bravado podcast. Thanks, ladies, for coming to take over.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for having us.
We're so happy.
For sure.
We are.
Absolutely. No, it was such a vibe being with you guys on the time where you guys had me. It was really dope. Great energy together. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I need to have these ladies on my show. And I want us to talk about some, ways that we can improve in our female to female relationships with one another.
Yes, that's what we do. That's what we do. So we're happy to chat.
We're the girls.
I'm excited. I'm here for it. Okay, so obviously you ladies are a part of the it's called the Unbothered Network by Jamel Hill, right?
Yes.
So you guys have had this podcast. For how long have you guys been having it?
This is our 6th year having it. So we've had it for quite some time. Yeah. We're podcast at this point.
Period.
Yeah.
Y'all are veterans.
Yes.
Y'all are veterans. And so obviously, this is something that you guys came together as friends and you developed. So can you kind of just first talk to us about who you are, what you do, and what helped you to transition into the inception of the Black Girl Bravado podcast?
Okay, so have been friends for well over 10 years. We are sorority sisters and line sisters. So before, yes, girl.
What sorority?
To all my sorors, Skiwi, AK.
Yes.
That's why I like y'all. Hey, sorors.
Look at that. It always works like that. It always works like that.
That's why I like y'all. Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
All in the name of Ethel.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Girls. We were always gang, well before we decided to be business partners. We were best friends and locked in that way. But Brittany started listening to podcasts before I did, and she was listening to the My Taught You podcast by Myleek.
Yes.
And she was like, girl, you got to tap in and listen to this. She's dropping gems. And I'm like, girl, what are you listening to? And she's like, a podcast. And because I had never heard of it, she was just putting me on and sharing like good girlfriends do. And after I had listened to a few episodes, I'm like, Brittany, I think we could do something like this, because Brittany and I have really great chemistry. People who come around us, our friends, our sorority sisters, they love to be in our energy and hang out with us. And we just vibrate off of each other really well. So one thing led to another, girl. And we had a podcast and a little snowball microphone up in my living room recording the first episode in December. Mm-hmm. And the goal was always, I think from the very beginning, we didn't really have much of an intention, but it was to always share information, liberate Black women's voices and be heard and be seen, have a place where we felt understood. And it just happened organically. And we built a really amazing community where it's homegirl vibes. People feel like they're listening to their homegirls and they're talking to their homegirls, and we are their homegirls in their head.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I get the homegirl energy anytime I'm around you ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Not only picking it up between the two of you, but also that's what you exude, and you allow people to allow us to feel comfortable around you.
Yes. That's what we love. That's what we love.
That is what we love. There's a lot of different podcasts and that have co-hosts. There's a co-host dynamic, but the comment that we get the most frequently is wow, you both really feel like my best friends. And I think it's just because of the energy that we share together. Someone we were just out and someone told us, "Are you guys always moving like water?"
Yes, that was such a great compliment.
Yeah. And I was like, well,
yeah.
we do.
I love that people can see like the seamlessness of your relationship, your dynamic.
Yes, they can. And when he said that, I was like, I never thought about it like that. But we do have a very synergetic like flow with one another. So it's just really beautiful that people recognize it because it's genuine, it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. You can sense the genuineness of it and how genuine it is. Yeah, amazing. I love that we're getting into this already. So let's hop into the nitty-gritty, because you ladies know, as women, sometimes we get a bad rap for when it comes to like maintaining female relationships and sisterhood.
We do, girl. Yeah. We hear it all the time.
Yeah. What do you guys hear?
We hear that women are very demanding when it comes to friendships. Women are fickle. Women put more energy into their romantic relationships, so that's why their female relationships fall apart. We get messages all the time from different people that listen to the show, like, why is it so hard for me to maintain these friendships? What am I doing wrong? What can I do differently? So we hear it all the time. And whenever we have our friendship series, because we do one each year, we get so many comments. Like, those videos always do numbers because it's a topic that's really near and dear to people, and it's really important. So we hear it all.
I think that really is telling, like the fact that people are coming to you with these types of problems, because it shows that this is a legit thing. Like, this isn't just a us thing or just one individual experiencing this. Like, collectively as women, sometimes it's hard for us to maintain those female relationships.
Yeah. And I think the more we have these conversations, we can admit that it's a sore spot for a lot of us. Sometimes we want female friendships, but we don't know how to go about getting them. We talk about friendship trauma and how, like, sometimes we're wounded by these various relationships and we don't know how to move forward and still reconcile with the fact that, like, there's still good friends out there and people who can meet you where you are and support you and, like, find your tribe. So it takes a lot of awareness and just being honest that, like, I do want good friends. I do want good women in my life. I feel like sisterhood is so essential in a woman's life, having people that you can connect with, that you can lean on, that you can allow yourself to fall apart with, like, that is important. You know what I mean? And sometimes we value the significance of friendship in our lives, but we have to remember how essential it is to our mental health, for our well-being, for our joy. Like, you have to have someone in your corner.
You do.
I love how you guys are talking about, like, how essential it is, because I don't think people realize, like, as humans, we were never, we're not, by design, we're not supposed to be isolated and to live in isolation. That's where a lot of people experience, like, different, like, depressive disorders and anxiety, like a whole bunch of things can come out of that. That's why it is important to develop that tribe or that sisterhood that you're looking for. And, we could talk about this all day. I didn't even read the full question because we just kind of hopped into it. But, you guys already kind of alluded to what are some of the things that can impact us and our ability to maintain these relationships. And you guys kind of said trauma, like past relationships that have failed. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah. Like, so all of us have experienced friendship to some capacity because most of our friendships start from proximity. Like, when we're in grade school, we meet our little homegirls, we hang out. And it's funny because as an adult, I've heard stories from, like, my friends' children say, like, oh my God, this girl is being mean to me. So the trauma starts at a young age when you feel like, oh, I thought you were gang and now you've done something to offend me and I'm hurt because I thought you were my friend. So even from a young age, we've had situations where we were in relationship with women and they did something that hurt us or scarred us. And now we're kind of jaded to the concept of friendship because it's like, wow, how could you do that? I trusted you, or I felt this way about you. And I think trauma also stems from, like, us feeling like friendship should be effortless because we're told, like, oh, it's just natural for you to make friends and for you to not have to put a lot of work into them and they just be what they're supposed to be. And then when we get into the relationships, we're like,
this takes a lot of work.
It does. Why are you requesting things from me? Why do I have to be dependable? What is going on? And then that could just make people feel like, oh, this is too much. Friends are not for me, when it's like, that's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, all relationships require some element of effort. And we just have to be able to pour into that with people who are worth it. So
I'm echoing everything Brittany says. I think as women, we have a really unique perspective because we pour a lot into our romantic relationships, or we're willing to pour a lot into the romantic relationship and work really hard at meeting the needs of our partners. But then when it comes to friends, it almost seems like it's optional.
Yeah.
And in our relationship, Brittany and I's relationship, and the friendships that I share with other women, it's never optional for me to pour into my friendships. It's just as important as my romantic relationship. I was actually driving the other day.
The Enhanced American Express Business Gold Card is designed to take your business further. It's packed with features and benefits like flexible spending capacity that adapts to your business, 24/7 support from a business card specialist trained to help with your business needs, and so much more. The Amex Business Gold Card, now smarter and more flexible. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business gold card.
And I haven't shared this with Brittany, but I thought about how much of a partner she is to me. Like, we always say that we're partners and we're soulmates. I have a romantic partner, but Brittany is really an integral part to like me living my purpose out here in this life. And I was thinking about the way I think about marriage with my partner. Like, once I'm locked in with him, like, boy, you ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. And I think about Brittany in that same way. Like, I don't envision my life without her next to me or like by my side. So I would be willing to do whatever it took for us to like maintain the relationship that we share. It's definitely to the casket. I'm like, girl, they're going to have to bury it.
Lower. Right, till death do us part. Right.
Yeah, but I think if we develop that same mentality towards our platonic relationships, specifically the relationships that we share with other women, like it would be a game changer for so many of us.
For sure. How would you ladies say like it is with maintaining overall adult relationships with other women? Like, what are some tips and strategies that you offer to some of your viewers?
I think that at this big age, a lot of us have responsibilities, and that goes without saying, but we can't use our responsibilities and our other obligations as excuses to not pour into the relationship. So if you are a busy girl, like most of us are, and you are holding the role of mother and wife and colleague and all of the things, just figure out a way that you have capacity and can make time for the relationships and be more than anything honest and open. Communicate with the people who are in your life. If you are in a season of transition, you have to communicate that, like, girl, I want to come and be there for you in this moment, but like this other can I say shit?
Go ahead.
This other stuff is tagging me, and I have to be here to do these things. I think it's really about open communication and allowing yourself to be vulnerable with the people that you're in relationship with. That would be tip number one for me.
Yeah, that definitely is number one. Number two, I would say just being intentional. Like Germany mentioned, we do have our different priorities that have to be higher at different periods of time. But being intentional does not go unnoticed. Sending a text message, picking up the phone, calling, setting something on your calendar, even if it's like 2 months away, the frequency may not be as often as it was before you had those different priorities and responsibilities. But girl, I got to see you. If we're in the same city, I got to see you. And if we're not in the same city, let's do our Essence Fest. Where are we linking up for the wine festival? Let's just make sure that we're intentional about carving out the time to exert that energy with our friendships, whatever that looks like for you at the time.
Yeah. And I think something else for us to just remember, keep in mind, is that it's okay if you have different friends for different things. Everybody, it's great if you have the homegirl that does it all, like my girl here.
Right.
But also appropriate and okay if you have a few friends for a few things. So release the pressure off one person to be everything that for you. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a homegirl that you hit the wineries with, great. If you got a homegirl you rode to church with, if you got somebody you pray with, somebody, that's perfect. Allow many people to serve many purposes in your life. I think it's okay. It's actually great.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I think when we put all of our eggs in one basket, we have more potential to be let down.
Yes.
Because there's no such thing as like one person or one friend who can be your all, your everything to you.
Yeah.
And so all friends have different qualities and characteristics. So it's totally okay to have, these are my church friends and these are my brunch friends. Like, that's totally fine.
Yeah, unless you're a possessive friend like me. I'm like, girl, sitting here moving around too much. But
go to church too.
I like to brunch. But even that, right? Like, again, back to that open communication and being vulnerable and honest. Because I feel like we are to one another like a one-stop shop friend. Sometimes it takes loosening my grip in our relationship to be like, girl, yeah, go out with your friends. If I'm not available, go, because I'm not always available. And I don't think that it should stop you from having fun or, experiencing other dynamics of relationships. Like, yeah, go ahead and go.
Right.
I'm clipping.
I will say that takes a certain level of maturity to get there, though, because I was that one possessive friend, like, oh, you hanging out with them today?
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
But now you're a doctor.
Right.
Well, I'm telling on myself, but this was probably during that period.
Listen, it's a work in progress, though. It's a work in progress.
Right.
I mean, just understand what I have to realize, and what Brittany reminds me is that, like, I'm not in competition with any of her other friends.
Yeah.
Our relationship is very special and unique, and it can't be replicated or duplicated. And like, you just have to be confident and rest in the fact that like what we have is special, and what you and your friend have is special. And them hanging out with other people is not going to threaten the relationship that you have.
Right.
Exactly.
Runaway love.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Mary J.
So this question just came to me, but just as we like have love languages for our partner, I wonder, could that be relevant for friendships and understanding how our friends receive love?
Oh, I feel like we definitely have some of those same love languages. And then there may be some like special created friendship love languages as well. Like, I feel like one of Jeremy and I's shared love language is experiences. Like, we love to have a good time together. I mean, we love to do it all. So we share all the love languages, but there's some friends where it's like, that's your word of affirmations friend, where, you can call her, she's going to gas you up. She's going to give you the energy that you need to go forth and be great. And then there's a friend where it's like, okay, you know what? This is my friend I kick it with. This is a friend who, is down to do whatever we want to do. And then other friends who might be the one, the show up friend. Like, I know if I got a flat tire, if I need her to pick my kids from school, those are all different dynamics and different ways that people receive the love. So I feel like definitely, because I've had some friends where I'm like, the exchange isn't exchanging.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get me, and I'm not feeling like I get you. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a thing when it comes to friendship.
Yeah, for sure. We have separate best friends outside of one another. Brittany has her best friend, and I have a best friend that we like grew up with from childhood. And I think that the relationship that Brittany and I shares is unique because we are single women, no children, unwed, if you will. And our time is just used differently than both of our best friends who are both married with children. And I feel like the love language that I share between my other best friend is completely different. It is more of a like, girl, can you pray for me?
Yeah.
Or, let me pull up and spend. It's more quality time as opposed to experiences because like I'm meeting her where she is in her life. She has children. I like to enjoy all of them as a family. So I think just recognizing what your friend needs and allowing yourself to show up in that capacity will also see a lot of heartbreak and heartache.
It will.
Because if I was looking at my quality time friend for experience, I would be let down.
Yes.
I would be like, girl, you're not showing up for me. But it's like, honestly, I'm showing up for you in the best way I know how.
Yeah.
Listen, so many gems being dropped. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Brittany, I want you to identify Germany's love language. So how she receives love. And then Germany, I want you to do the same for Brittany.
Oh, that's easy. Germany is a words of affirmation girl. Okay. She receives love by encouraging her, reassuring her that, yes, you are my friend. Yes, I love you. Yes, you're important. Yes, you're the best. Yes, girl, you're my number one.
Yeah,
that
is true. Yes. Brittany is an acts of service girly.
Please.
I think like many of us Black women, independent, we can carry it all. It doesn't mean that we should. And I feel like a lot of times when I see her going through something and I just extend myself, even if she doesn't ask, I just feel like she really appreciates that when I'm like, hey, even if it's just like a little coffee or a little gift, like she was studying for her HR exam. Is it the Sharma?
Sure.
I'm terrible with things like that, but I know she was studying for something. Having a really tough day, and I'm like, girl, I sent her a little cash flow to get her a nice like a coffee that she would like, and I'm like, some of that special foam on top,
right?
And it's just like little things like that I know she appreciates. So she's a gifts girly, and she is an acts of service girly.
Yeah,
I love that.
Some of these things through conflict, honestly, because the way that I am, I'm so direct, and Germany's like, no, that doesn't work for me. I need you to come with some more words, and I'm like, gentle. Okay. But even if it's telling a story, she'll be like, how was the date? And I'll be like, oh, it was cool. And she's like, okay, where are the details? From the beginning to the end? Damn, now let me lay it all out for you.
Right.
I want to play by play.
Yes.
I'm like, girl, I want to be walked through. I want to feel like I was there.
Yeah.
Right. All the details. I need it.
Yes.
You guys, so you alluded to like it came through conflict, right? And so just kind of going in that direction, have you all ever experienced like conflict between the two of you, and how did it not impact how you do business together?
So because Brittany and I, we have very great communication. I feel like most things that would maybe create such a division in a friendship where you would be like, it just kind of fell out. We nip in the bud really early. So if there's a situation like she sort of alluded to and mentioned, like Brittany's very direct, like she'll just say what she wants to say. And I'm very sensitive, and I can't always handle it the way she wants to give it. So it takes for me to be honest and say, hey, it hurt my feelings, or I can't really receive what it is that you want to say when you talk to me like that. And vice versa. Sometimes I have this way of being, would you say judgy? What do you want to call it? Judgmental. Mm-hmm. And she had to call me out on that. She was like, yo, sometimes I feel like when you say you wouldn't do this and it's something that I am doing, it makes me feel like I'm being judged by you. And I was caught off guard, and I could have gotten defensive, but in that moment I had to just step back and like, this is a person that I trust. This is a person that I value. This is a person that we share very intimate space, and we can be honest with one another. And if they're telling me that I'm making them feel like this, then it's true. Like, right. I'm not going to, it's her experience, and I have to honor it and be mindful that I don't say the things that I want to just like say, like flip off at the tongue. Really, it's like, let me pause, think about what I want to say, and then approach it in a way that she can still feel, and still feel honored. I don't want to fucking cut. Sorry, shit. I don't want to cut my friend down. I don't want to cut my friend down. Like, it's a person that I value.
Yeah.
So like, it takes for us to be very communicative, openly connected with one another.
It does. And I think we have more instances where we have to flex this muscle because we do business together too. So there's several things that come up where it's like, can create conflict. It's like, what is this? I don't want to do this. I prefer it this way. I prefer it that way. So that, I think that helps us strengthen our communication muscle when it comes to conflict, because it can easily go to the left when it's like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. But I think it goes back to just our synergy. Like, we know that we're friends first and we want to work together instead of each other. So we always have that at the forefront when we're navigating our friendship, our business, making decisions and things like that. But there have been times where it's like, you done pissed me off. Like we were at our live show in New York, and Germany was upset about something or just feeling disappointed about something. And I'm like, Germany, you being upset right now is just killing my vibe. Like, I don't want to talk about it. And that made her feel even more disappointed and hurt. So when we got back to our Airbnb, we had to really
have a lemon squeeze.
We had a lemon squeeze to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, but in addition to like what Brittany mentioned, that we want to work together and we want our business to thrive.
Yeah.
We put our friendship first, the business, but we always remember like our objective. We will remove ourselves completely from the business because really what we're doing is to serve the community, right? So it's like, if it's something that we're planning a retreat right now, and there's certain things where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. And Brittany's like, It might feel that way to you, but not to her. And I'm like, right, community first. So, it's like putting we don't have an ego when it comes to our business. And that's what I appreciate. It's just like, what do you think would be best? And I think because we operate that way and we can defer to one another, it's like, if it's Brittany's strong area, I do not mind taking the back seat, passenger seat, getting in the trunk, whatever it is, riding on the hood. I'm like, girl, drive.
Right.
And then vice versa. When it's something that I'm strong in, we she lets me lead, and we really defer to each other in that way and lean into each other's strengths.
That's what it is, right? So leaning into the strengths, and basically you ladies are saying, keeping in mind the purpose, like this purpose is bigger than us. And I love that. So I'm not sure if you ladies are aware, but I have a twin sister.
Yeah.
So we're
so cute.
Yes. Oh,
is she also a score?
Yes.
That is
They're line sisters.
Love
that
it.
makes it so cute.
Yes.
Thank you. So so we both actually developed a podcast not too long ago. And it's also on Revolt. And so we're experiencing some of the same challenges y'all are talking about right now.
Yeah.
It gets sticky. It's like, oh, you want to do that? Oh,
I know.
Yes. There was the last time we were in studio, there was something that happened that we disagreed on. And so I'm like texting her in between our episode recordings, and I'm realizing my text messages aren't going through. And so I had asked her during our next episode recording, I'm like, yeah, so have you ever blocked anybody before in your life?
Don't tell me she blocked you.
Yeah, and so I called her on air. So we basically talked.
Goodness, girl, no, I would be like, girl, offline combo, offline. Yeah, but not you.
But it was so cute because we were able to kind of like talk through, okay, like what's going on? Why do we need to change this? Because that wasn't it. Like you really blocked me.
That happens. Right. Sometimes the vibe is off. That's happened before with us when we're recording and the vibe is off, and Brittany's like, and then I'll just have to say, yeah, the vibe is off. So what are we gonna do about it?
Get it together.
Let's figure it out. Right. Let's figure it out. And I'm also I want to get to the solution. I want there to be harmony as soon as possible. We can figure it out. We can talk it out. We can hash it out. But let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing here.
Yeah. That's important because it's like y'all said, like it's about the community. Like, and for that,
us. Yeah. It's about us too.
Yeah.
You're right. It is about us. You're right. But you guys are great examples of what that looks like, because I hear people say all the time, like, you can't be in business with friends and family. Like, it's just something that can't happen. Yeah. But you guys are dispelling that rumor.
Thank God. Thank God. But I think also Brittany and I, we've made it really clear to ourselves and to the community that if ever our relationship, our friendship is compromised, we would lay this whole thing down.
Yeah.
We would not work. Yeah, because that's really the basis of which we show up and can be a the community and put the content out, because we're really friends. We're not just co-hosts or two people who decided to just like, oh, you want to do a podcast? Sure. We're really locked in with one another. So if ever it's threatened, then it's just not worth.
Yeah. It's so important to value friendship over like I don't know what to call it. Career, friendship over career, friendship over business.
Yes. The business aspect can get sticky, especially the entertainment industry. It's like, girl, who was here before this?
Right.
Like, I was hooked up with you.
Right.
I love it. So can you ladies talk to us about how to set boundaries, how you ladies set boundaries, and what that looks like even being business partners?
It goes back to that communication piece. I think because our communication is so good, like we're able to openly communicate, like, I don't like when you do this, so there's a boundary. Don't do that, because I didn't like how it made me feel. Like, maybe rethink your approach when you're deciding how to like intro the topic or even give your opinion. Maybe wait till you have an invitation to give your opinion. That will work better for me, so that we can maintain the harmony. Although we're not going to be perfect, but I think just the communication really helps us set our boundaries, because everything is a conversation, and there's never really a long period in between the incident and like setting the boundary. It's like as soon as it happens or as soon as possible, it's like, girl, you know, when you did that, it rubbed me the wrong way. So let's not do that again. And it's like, noted. I got it. I won't do it again.
Yeah. It's the communication. I think that's the foundation of even being able to communicate. My feelings were hurt. This is how I would like you to approach me next time. And sometimes the boundary is although boundaries should be verbalized very clearly, I think if you have a relationship where there's a lot of love and a lot of respect and a lot of intentionality, where you can sort of pick up on the nonverbal boundary, like somebody telling you I was hurt by this should already let you know how to maybe navigate it in the future. So sometimes Brittany would say something and I'm like, okay, yeah, noted. And there's certain things that I just don't weigh in on until, again, the invitation comes. Like, what is it that you're asking out of me? Do you want an ear? Do you want a solution? Do you want advice? What do you want? Because if you aren't requiring any of that right now, maybe it's not even appropriate for me to speak on it. You know what I mean? Just allowing yourselves to openly communicate, strip back the layers, be vulnerable, say how you really feel, and allow the other person to then act on it. You know, that happens a lot too in my other friendship. Sometimes I have a way of trying to ease a situation or avoid any conflict, and I don't allow a person to show up, right? Like I'll be like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. I'm going to invite you somewhere, but don't feel obligated to come. When truly it's like, girl, put it out there. Let the person decide what they want to do and act on it, and then move forward accordingly, giving a person a chance to respond.
I think discernment too, because I think it's easy for us because we know each other's heart. We know we're coming from a good place, and we know like the basis of our character and our how we operate. But if you have to set like some crazy boundaries with people, they might not be the best people to be in friendship with, because we're like just communicating like how to make small adjustments to be more harmonious and better friends. We're not saying, woo, you really crossed me with that one. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it goes a little too far, where you might have to be like, is this person even really a friend? You know?
Yeah.
Once you have to really get to doing some.
Like, girl, don't text my man after. Yeah. No, girl, hold on now.
Wait.
That's
happening? Like people.
You know, where things happen and you feel like, well, you know, you did this and you did that. Like, it's not a boundary to say, don't talk about me behind my back, or like setting those expectations be evident in friendship. So, you know, veggie backing on Brittany's point, if you're setting some really crazy expectations, dynamic.
Yeah.
Is it really a friend, or is it just good company? Good
Come
company.
on. But how do you tell the difference between like, okay, is this an actual friend, and when is it time to end that relationship?
I go based off like how I feel. Like, again, I'm a real big energy person, and just assessing someone's character and just listening when people talk, because they get to revealing some of the ways they show up in their other relationships too. And I'm seeing, okay, I'm noticing some discrepancies in how you're showing up for me too.
No integrity.
Right. So this is probably like a character thing. Like, this is a you thing. And I don't think that we're really a fit. You know, I give it some time. Sometimes you can see right off the bat that people just aren't a mix, might not be a vibe. But some people you get bamboozled, or maybe it's not even a bamboozling. Maybe you just thought that there was some chemistry there and that it has the potential to go somewhere. But as you get deeper and deeper into relationship with them, you're like, oh, actually, you should have been kept at the surface. You know, so I just read the room.
Yeah. And I think that's what you have to do first before you go trying to be friends with people, is decide what do you want out of friendship? Do you want vulnerability? Do you want good times? Do you want, you know, whatever it is that you're actually looking for in friendship, and then let that be the foundation, you know, like your desired feelings. What is it that you're seeking out of this relationship? Because good company could be like your coworkers, right? Like, you have a good time with them at work, you sit, you kiki, you have lunch, but they're not the people you're going to get in the trenches with.
Right.
That's, I think, how you can distinguish. It's just somebody I like to hit up brunch with, or we have a good kiki, we send some memes back and forth. What is the real substance of the friendship? Is there grace when something happens? You know, is there forgiveness? Is there ongoing conversations where you can be raw and vulnerable and call each other out, and it doesn't crush the relationship? How do you guys bounce back after conflict? Like, all of those will help you decide, or be able to tell, is this girl for me or not?
Yeah. Keep your antennas up.
Say that again.
Keep your antennas up.
I love it. Keep the antennas up. I feel like on that note, and that goes back to the discernment that you ladies were talking about as well. So this is good. I feel like so many people, they should have been writing notes, but I feel like they were taking in the gems. And really, this are practical things to implement in friendships, especially if you're in business with your friends.
Yes. It doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it doesn't be hard.
It doesn't.
We have a tendency to complicate things that don't need to be complicated.
Right. I think it's the messaging too that we get.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to quiet down the noise and just start moving a little more. You know, like
sure.
how does this person make me feel? Why are they showing up? And then go from there. I mean, don't be Delulu, but
yeah. And don't hold on to things that are well past their expiration date.
Yeah.
Don't stay in a relationship or a friendship just because you don't want to be alone, or you feel like if you've outgrown people, and that happens because we meet people at so many different stages of our lives, you know, young children, college, colleagues, whatever it is. If you've outgrown the dynamic, it's okay for you to make space for something new.
Come on. Even trees have to remove the dead leaves in order for something new to come. Period. Period.
Circle of life, y'all.
Right. I certainly appreciated you ladies for coming through.
Of course.
Of course. It was our pleasure.
We'll be back.
Yes. Of course. Of course. And I'm serious about that collab. Like, we got to figure out something. Like something.
Yes, and Dr. Shonda in the streets. Y'all.
Yes, you are. We are.
And your twin.
Yes, we got to meet the twin.
She's in. You guys are in LA, right?
Yeah.
She's in LA right now. She's doing the red carpet at the ESPYs.
Okay,
we need to link with twin.
Right.
We need to link up with twin. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So now we're gonna be in contact with some things we got coming up. But let the viewers know where they can find you guys and what y'all have coming up.
You can find us on Instagram at the Black Girl Bravado Pod, or at our website, theblackgirlbravado.com. We have our retreat coming up. We have a Unlocking Sisterhood retreat where we gather women who have the goal of just wanting to deepen connections, meet new women, deepen the connection with themselves. We had a great time on our last retreat, so I'm so excited about this one.
Yes.
I love that. Where's the retreat?
It's going to be in Belize.
It is.
Nice. That's going to be dope. When is it?
May 4th through the 7th, 2024. We just wrapped up our first in El Salvador, and it was amazing. So much good feedback and just a great time. People have made lifelong friends.
They have.
They
have. So that warms my heart.
We're doing the work.
Yeah, y'all doing the work of the Lord. Let me tell you, y'all developing friendships. Like, I love this. All right, Brittany in Germany, thank you again for coming. And don't forget, guys, that we have a podcast episode that airs every single Wednesday at 6 a.m. and the video airs on Thursdays at 9 p.m. And don't forget, you have the power to create the emotions that you want to experience. God bless.
Take your business further with the American Express Business Gold Card, now smarter and more flexible. It's packed with enhanced benefits that are built for your business, all with the powerful backing of Amex. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/businessgoldcard.